welcome back to another episode of A Lady's Garden. We are in my kitchen looking at an empty box because I was recently contacted by a company called POPOSOAP. You'll see it on the screen, and they offered to send me a bird bath water fountain type of kit for review. So I said, sure, why not? I do have a bird bath in my garden, and we are going to set this fountain up there. But we're going to first open the box, and you're going to see what's inside. So let's go. Oh, there is, oh, let me get the glare off. So there's the smaller box. Now, it came in this larger box. It was packaged well. This is the paper that was kind of there to cushion it. I am going to use this paper in my garden because you saw my video where I'm starting up my side garden and I'm using paper as a first barrier before I put my mulch, but that's another project. Let's focus on this one. So here we are. You see their information there, and then you see a whole bunch of items. So let's dig in. Okay, so here are all the items that came in that box. Now, because it's going in my bird bath, I won't be needing the tube that you see here. This would be more for, I'm assuming, if you are going to actually build your own DIY fountain. So let's take a look. This is probably not the best lighting for this. Hold on, let me take off the light and see. Much better, the glare is off. So you see the directions there. And we, like I said, we're not going to be doing this. Most likely, we're going to be using the solar panel, the cord, and probably the nozzle and this little guy here. But you know what? Let's take it outside, and then after we'll set it up where we're going to be setting it up. Okay. Oh, there we are. So I meant to unravel or undo the pamphlet, but I didn't. So here we are. Let's look at this. So we have all the pieces, which is great. And you can see there are a lot of pieces. So they're all there. And then, yeah. So let's go outside. This is the bird bath that I'm going to try and set up the water fountain kit in this area. I think it would be really nice to come in and hear the sound of water as you enter into the garden. I already have the solar panel charging in the sun. I personally don't like big, like, mechanical or solar powered equipment in view, so it's perfect for me over here because I do already have a solar light that kind of highlights this area nicely. You can see all the weeds, and side note, there's a catnip. I found a sprig of it in another part of my garden, and I popped it in here, so we'll see what it does. I know it's a little shady, but during, you know, the morning sunlight, it does get a lot of sun. And check out my redbud tree. Okay, back to the task at hand. There's the solar panel. There's the bird bath. Let's see what we can make happen. Okay, so good news is that it works. So this is the pump, okay? And then you have your tubing. And then you have your solar panel. So the pump connects to the solar panel, and then you have the, I don't know the technical term, but you have the spout, so to speak. Let me get my hand under here. Okay, so then this shoots the water up. The only thing I ran into is that my bird bath, the basin or the reservoir, isn't deep as this. So even if I were to run the tube, put the pump inside of the bird bath, it's not going to be deep enough to recycle that water and then for this to sit on top. So this doesn't necessarily work for my application, but I can definitely see it. If I were to make maybe a container water fountain, it definitely would be a good tool to use. So I'm going to put some more water because I was just kind of holding it like this and the water was just draining out. I mean, you get some rocks. You can make this really look really nice. I'm going to get some more water. I'm going to put an attachment on, and then we'll take a look to see what it does. So give me a second. Okay, so I just went ahead and used a little container. You can see the pump down there kind of coiled around the tubing. I put a nozzle on and this little flotation device. I mean, in a perfect setting, I would, you know, if you wanted to, you can probably just, like I said, make your own DIY bird container fountain. I wouldn't even say bird bath. I'd say more of a fountain, like a DIY fountain. Definitely can see it being used as a DIY fountain. And then you have the nozzle up. So now I'm going to have my handsome assistant. I have one of my sons here with me. There he is right there. He's going to plug in the solar panel. That's so cool. And there you have it. So it's definitely pretty cool. I would probably, most likely, I personally wouldn't use this for my bird fountain, but I can see myself getting a container and doing a DIY fountain through a container, like a pretty pot, basically. Pretty pot. But that's some really high water action right there. And once you have a good enough size opening and you have some nice rocks around it, I think it would be really cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So check it out. It's a POPOSOAP, as I said. I have the link to this one in the description. And that was my first product review, guys. Super exciting stuff, right? Okay, happy gardening, fellow gardeners. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.